Hi everyone, so today I just did a first impression / review of this foundation right here, but it is the L'Oreal Paris Infallible Total Cover Full Coverage Weightless Feel Foundation. It claims to be 24 hours, and I'll read you the claims on the back. It's a natural finish, wears up to 24 hours, high coverage, and air-light texture. It says it's a pro face and body foundation, ultra lightweight, seamless coverage. You can use everywhere, face, neck, arms, and legs to cover imperfections. My color is 309 Caramel Beige, and for reference, I'm a MAC NC40 to NC44. Right now I'm a MAC NC42. So if you guys want to see my thoughts on this foundation, then just keep watching. Hi guys, so with the foundation, I'm going to try one side of Beauty Blender and the other side with a Real Techniques sculpting brush that looks like this, and then my favorite Real Techniques brush, which is the buffing brush, which is this guy. So we're going to try one side with these guys and the other side with my Beauty Blender. So I'm just going to take it and I'm going to put it just on a palette. So when I squeeze this out, it's like a thicker, moussier texture. It's definitely not a liquid where it comes out really wet. It's like a gel sort of. So we'll start with the Beauty Blender on one side. I'm going to try just jabbing the Beauty Blender right into the product and then right onto my skin. So from what I can see so far is as long as you get it on the back of the Beauty Blender like a lot of product, I'm not having any issues making sure it covers the entire side, if I'm making sense. You know how sometimes you dip your Beauty Blender into the product and if you only get a little bit, it's only tiny little dots? Oh, Penelope's awake. So from what I can see so far, it looks almost full coverage. I would say it's like a heavy medium coverage, if that makes sense. There's definitely no glow or luminosity at all to the foundation. It's very flat, but at the same time it's not matte and dry looking, if that makes sense. Just gonna put a little bit more on. Just go on my forehead. I mean, I'm definitely not absolutely loving the results with the Beauty Blender. I definitely feel like I'm gonna have to go back in with the brush and get some spots. So I put on about 2 layers so far with the Beauty Blender. And at the moment, I don't have any rosacea and I don't have any really heavy acne scars that I have to cover. The only thing that I have is just discoloration on my skin, being a little bit lighter than the rest of my body. Alright, so that is the side with the Beauty Blender. I have to go get Penelope. She just woke up from a nap, so I'm going to go get her, nurse her, and then I'm going to come back and do the other side with the brushes. So this is the side with the Beauty Blender. It's okay. I'm not in love with it, so I'm going to try the brushes to see if I like a brush better with it. So let's go to this side and let's try it out with the Real Techniques brushes. I'm also going to dot the foundation on my skin and then blend it out and see if that works a little bit better. I just squeeze it on the back of a palette and then I take a Q-tip and I'll put it on my face because I hate getting my hands dirty when filming. And I am working off of natural sunlight, so I'm trying to hurry up before the sun goes down so that we can see the foundation in natural lighting. So now just going in with the Real Techniques buffing brush, I'm just going to blend that out. So far I already like the brush way better than the sponge. It goes way quicker and it's way easier to blend it out. I honestly think because it's a moussier texture that the brush just is able to blend the consistency out way better than a Beauty Blender would. Because it's a thicker consistency, I feel like the Beauty Blender can only do so much with this kind of formula. I'm just going to use my hand mirror to get the rest. Even with the brush, I still wouldn't say that initially it's absolute full coverage because I still see some spots that need a little bit more coverage compared to the side where I did the Beauty Blender with about the 2 layers. I'm just going to go in with like a little bit of a second layer just so that it matches the other side. I most definitely like the brush side way better than the Beauty Blender side. They may look the same, but just blending out, it was way easier. for me personally to blend it out with the brush. Just went way quicker and a lot smoother than the Beauty Blender side. Coverage wise, same thing as the other side, about medium to full. If you did another layer, or maybe if you pressed it on the skin, you could instantly get full coverage. I wouldn't say right off the bat that you get that full coverage right away. You definitely have to build up to it, and again, there's no luminosity or shine or glow, but there's no matte flat finish. It kind of sort of gives more of like a satiny skin-like finish, which is nice. I'm going to do my concealer and everything else on camera quickly so that we can see together how everything else blends into this foundation. I'm just going to go in with my Urban Decay concealer, and I will use a Beauty Blender to blend all of this out. I'm not having any issue blending the concealer into my foundation or anything. It's blending in really nice and seamlessly. You can't tell where my concealer ended, which is really nice. Sometimes I feel like foundations will hug onto a concealer and then it makes it a little bit more difficult to blend out, but no issues with the concealer at all. I'm going to take my Makeup Forever foundation stick and just do my contour like I normally do. So far so good. This blends in really nice to my foundation as well. Now my skin type is normal to oily to combination. It's a little bit of everything. I'm oily forehead, nose, a little bit on my chin, and then I'm really dry around my mouth area and pretty much normal everywhere else. So when I look for a foundation, I want to make sure the foundation looks good everywhere, not just in one spot. I am also trying out this foundation on my nose because I have a really hard time finding a foundation that will stick to my nose and not melt off. So I did put this on my nose, and we'll see how this does on my nose for the rest of the video. I would say so far everything has blended really nicely into the foundation. I did my concealer, my cream contour, and everything looks really pretty and very smooth. Now I'm going to set all of my foundation with two different powders. The first powder is my RCMA No Color powder. I'm going to take that in a Beauty Blender and just set right under my eyes. Now I've said this before in my other videos, I use a Beauty Blender with powders under my eye to ensure that I get absolutely no creasing, because when I use a brush, it just doesn't lock my concealer in place enough and I end up creasing throughout the day no matter what concealer I use. So I always just use the powder on a Beauty Blender. I'm going to take a little bit of the powder and set my forehead area, and then just set my nose. Then to set the rest of my face, I'm going to use the MAC Studio Fix powder in the shade NC42 with just a Real Techniques fluffy brush. And this will also be used to blend out the under eye powder that I just did, because I don't really bake, I just more set and then sweep it away. For bronzer, I'm just going to use a little bit of my Hoola bronzer. I'm just going to take that in a 168 brush and just put a little bit right over where I did my cream contour. For blush, I'm going to use the NYX Nude to Me OB06 Ombre blush. These are one of my favorite blushes because they have a really pretty luminosity to them, and the color payoff is insane. I'm going to put a little bit on my apples and then just bring it back. And now I do go back with my Beauty Blender and a little bit of the translucent powder just to blend where the blush and the concealer meet. Then very lastly, I'm just going to do a quick highlight. I'm going to use the Makeup Revolution Ultra Blush Palette. I'm just going to go in with this shade, and this shade, and just mix those together. Just do a little bit of a highlight. So now that I'm done with my face, I'm just going to go put my lipstick on, and then I'll be right back with my final thoughts about the foundation. Alright, so this is the finished look. I just went and put some lipstick, lip gloss, and bottom mascara on to finish the look. Overall, I do really like the foundation. I don't love it. The only reason is because it's already starting to settle a little bit in some fine lines that I have around my mouth. Again, my favorite way to apply it is with the brush. The brush really blended it out way easier than the Beauty Blender. The Beauty Blender took a little bit more time because the foundation is definitely a thicker consistency. So I would definitely try it out with like a flat top kabuki brush. The finish is really nice. The finish again is more of a skin-like finish. It's not dewy or glowy or luminous, and it's not matte flat like the other L'Oreal foundation is. It just has a really pretty skin-like look, which I really do love. I had no issue blending any of my other products into it, which is really nice. I didn't have to fight with anything, so that is always a plus. Overall though, I would definitely go out and get it when it is in drugstores near you. I got mine at Bed Bath & Beyond like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and they had all of the colors out. So if you guys have any other questions, just leave them below. Thank you so much for watching, and please let me know if you guys like these kind of videos. If you do like the First Impression Friday videos, then just give this video a thumbs up, and if there's any products you guys want me to test out, just leave them in the comments below, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!